What's going on, everybody? This is TAETRO, and today I'm going to be breaking down for you how I made my latest live session beat with the Arturia MiniLab MKII. If you haven't seen the performance yet, check the link in the description, watch it in a new tab, then come back here and see how it was made. Let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is go to Live, Preferences, and check out the MIDI controller in the MIDI Preferences. Sometimes Live will automatically detect the MIDI controller, and so you'll see that it says Arturia MiniLab, and you can actually set it so that it has a custom setting for Ableton. So you'll notice that I have none selected for the MiniLab because I want to go ahead and make my own custom mappings. I don't want to use its default Ableton mapping right now. What it will actually do by default is launch the first two scenes of clips with the pads, and I'm going to set the pads to do something completely different. So I've selected none, and I'm going to make sure that remote is turned on for the MiniLab, so that way I can make the custom mappings that I need to make. When you register the controller, you get the Arturia MIDI Control Center, which is a way of custom mapping the controller and making templates for different sets. So in the Control Center, I was able to switch the pads from being notes to now just being like toggle switches, and this is going to come in handy later. Basically, we're just making it so the pads send MIDI CC information rather than be specific notes like C1 as if it were a drum rack. So back in Ableton, you can see I made a number of custom mappings, and the first and most important was what I did with the pads. So the pads have two separate banks, so you have 1 through 8 and then 9 through 16. The first set of 8 pads with no light illuminated are set to arm each track. If I click the pad select button and it illuminates, now I have pads 9 through 16, and that is set to launch clips in the selected scene. If a track is armed, this means a clip will start recording. Knobs number 1 and 9 both click in like buttons, and I use those for scene up and down. This way I can select which scene I'm recording in or launching from, and if I scroll down to a scene, I can actually stop clips, so I used that in this performance. The rest of the custom mappings just revolve around effects. Knob number 7, which is the first effect that I use, is the low cut on the original drum loop, and this made it so I could totally cut out the kick drum and have it just be the top of the drum sample, and then bring the kick drum back in when the bass line dropped. Number 16 controls the volume of the riser track. The riser is a clip that just plays throughout the entire set, and you'll notice that there's no stop buttons above it because I don't want to accidentally stop it. Whenever I want the riser to come in, I literally just turn the knob and the volume goes up, and then bring it down for the volume to go down. Knob number 5 is the filter cutoff for the lead. And knob number 2 controls an auto pan on the keys that you hear towards the end of the video. Some of the sounds you hear are from the Beat Tools sound pack from Ableton, which is free for Ableton Live Suite users and push users. Track 2 is the bass. Track 3, the drum kit. Track 5, the lead. And 7, the initial loop, is from the Beat Tools kit. You can download that for free if you're an Ableton Live Suite user or push owner. I've also got another video on that if you want to go check it out. The touch strip is nice for the pitch bend as it adds another layer of expression. And that's pretty much how I set up this session. I was a little annoyed at first that when I plugged the controller in, it didn't work the way I thought it would right off the bat. But Arturia bundled that really great MIDI control center to help me make some custom mappings, and you can save templates. So next time I can just pull up that template and be ready to go with that session. I thought about doing a performance where I paired the MiniLab with another control service, but I think the true test of a MIDI controller is how much can you do with it by itself. Because a lot of people are on a budget and don't want to go out and buy 2 or 3 MIDI controllers, so I think it's really helpful for you all to see what a controller can do solo. Do you agree? That being said, the build quality and the feel of this controller is by far the best aspect of the MiniLab. It would definitely pair really well with a control surface like either a launch pad or a Korg Nano control, something that gives you that additional built-in control. That way you don't have to do too many of the custom mappings that I did. Alright, if you enjoy live electronic music performances, tutorials, and free sound packs, be sure to click that subscribe button down below. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and feel free to ask me any questions in the comments below. This has been TAETRO. Have a good one.